Oh, it's a dark day for Destiny, because I've just realised the news for the build crafting, and something I overlooked quite quickly, so it's not going to be surprising if you missed this as well. But it appears that Bungie is going to be sunsetting the Warmind Cells, which is a shame, really, because I actually really enjoy using the Warminds. They are a unique way to play the game, we'll say. Obviously, they're not as broken as it used to be, because you could used to wipe entire rooms with just one Warmind Cell. Now it's a case of it will only take a couple, but still, they're fun to use. And I do understand why Bungie is sunsetting these. They aren't actually probably used that much compared to other builds, and they do want to focus on other elements of build crafting, so again, it kind of makes sense. But there is nothing that's ever going to be a Warmind Cell for me, because it is just pure carnage when you put it with the right build. Not to mention this season when we've got the new Icolos weapons, you can get Volt Shot on them. They are just deadly in their own right. But I figured I'd share this build as well because it is very similar to the Mini Titan. It's basically what I dubbed it as for the Hunter build I made a couple weeks ago. It is still very useful and fun to use. And obviously now if you couple it together with the fact that this is a close range build as well, it is quite formidable when you compare the Icolos SMG with it as well. So just to get things started, I will just say that if you want to see the entirety of this build, there is an eye icon up above where I will show you basically the Titan Junior build. It's just really an adaptation of that build with Warmind Cells in mind. So first off, we're starting off with the weapon that is going to be spawning the Warmind Cells, the Icolos SMG, because a Arc SMG to go with an Arc build just makes sense. For the perks, I've basically just picked Hammer-Forward Rifling to get some more range out of it. Seraph rounds because they're pretty much a must if you're using any kind of Icolos SMG. They're just the best rounds for it. Threat Detector because I am mostly going to be in close proximity to just about everything, especially if I'm utilizing punches. So it just makes sense to have some kind of perk that will boost the weapon even more when I'm in close range to other enemies. And of course, we could not miss Volt Shot. Volt Shot is probably one of the most amazing perks that you can get on an arc weapon at the minute. So anything that can roll with this, I am probably going to have it on it. And not to mention, you get Rasputin's Arsenal as an origin trait, which is nice because you get to reload your magazine every time you break your opponent's shield. For the perks, I basically got rid of Radiant Light and Powerful Friends, just so I can have some slots to put Warmind Cell mods in. So, Global Reach has gone on the helmet. You need this mod in order to spawn any kind of Warmind Cells with a certain Seraphor and Icolos weapon, so this is a must. As an optional perk, I've used Burning Cells. I've actually changed my arms from Arc, I think they were previously, to Solar in order to do this. It basically just means that I set enemies on fire when I blow up Warmind Cells, which is always a nice bonus. Not to mention, an added bonus to this as well is if you're using this Inspire of the Watcher, the burn damage ticks over, so if you don't have the buff that allows you to activate the nodes, when you pick the buff up and you are still doing solar damage to the nodes, it will activate straight away afterwards. And because Warmind Cells are exploding, there is actually quite a bit of range that you can get on these, so you can actually trigger multiple ones at once. I have done it multiple times now where I've shot a Warmind Cell at the entrance, and I've triggered like 3 or 4 in one Warmind Cell. And then I've basically transformed the cloak into a complete seasonal artifact, unless I'm running this build, which I've actually got one Warmind Cell build on, which is Rage of the Warmind. And this basically just gives it even more solar damage, so it's great for taking out major enemies as well as all the adds, so it's just a dual white room kind of thing. Unless it's a boss, of course, then you're not going to have much luck. Whilst the Warmind Cells will be going away, I feel like I'm going to be using them a lot this season, just as like a kind of last chance to actually use them, and I would also encourage that you all do the same as well. Because at the end of the day, they really are just a little bit of fun, and I don't see why you shouldn't be able to use them every now and again, just have a little bit of fun with the builds. So this video is basically essentially me saying a fond farewell to the Warmind Cells. Hopefully we'll get something in its place to renew it, but for now, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next one.